I see that you're a happy learner, 'cause I'm a happy learner, and we are happy learners today. Hooray!
Hi there, happy learners. If you haven't already met me, I'm Miss Jody, and I'm so glad you joined me today. Welcome. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about early hand skills for our young learners. So to begin with, we know that children explore their environments tactually, and this is what I've talked about in the last video, and today I want to talk more about that with exploring different shapes and being able to compare some of those shape relationships. So to start off with, this first activity is for children to start to get the idea of categorizing shapes by size. So what you can do is get together some objects that are the same shape, different sizes. If you just don't have anything that you can think of, you can always start with different shapes altogether. What I want to show today, though, is I found these plastic canvas materials that I just happen to have in a craft box, and it works out well because I have large, and I have medium sized, and then I have small, and I have a whole assortment. So the idea is to start off with giving your child these shapes and then talking about what they are. And this is the shape of a circle, and letting them explore it, letting them trace the outside of it. If it's an object like jar lids or something like that you have on hand, you can talk about what they're for. And then just support your child in helping to begin to organize them. So it's very important that children place things, that they learn to place things and get organized to do this activity. So what I would have them do is you require some direction. Sorry, that's for later. So you can tell them, let's put the big, as they pick up each one, guide them and say, oh, okay, so this is a big one. So let's put the big ones all the way on the left. And you can help guide them in doing that. And then pick up the next one. Well, what do you think about this? Is it the same as this one? And you can feel it to figure it out. Oh, no, it's different. So let me set this one in the middle. And how about this one? Oh, well, this is like the last one. So we can put that, and that's matching by size. We can put that with this one. And then, well, here's one that doesn't really match this one, does it? It doesn't really match this one. So let's put it all the way on the right-hand side. And so just having three sizes is really helpful, because it's just, or if that's too complicated, you can always just do big and small. But having three sizes is really helpful for what we're going to do after this. So go through and have them organize things by their size. And again, having that organization and that consistent placement is really important for the next activity. So after you do that, and again, this could be anything, whatever you have on hand. It could be like paper plates or what have you. Or you could even cut shapes out of, some fabric, or cut shapes out of cereal boxes or something. Then you're going to introduce some containers. And so what I have here are just some plates. And of course, plates are nice circles. And let your child feel the plates, explore the plates. And we have a small plate, a medium plate, a large plate, a medium plate, and a small plate. And what you would have them do is to go back to their organization on their tray that they already have, and go and say, okay, so we have these containers. Let's take our large circles and let's put them in the right container. Which container would they go in? And let them explore and feel like which one they would go in and why. And then they'll start to get the idea of matching by size, and they'll get the idea of the relationships. And what about this one, our small ones? Where should our small ones go? Oh, it doesn't really fit in that. Let's try this one. And once you do that, and they could, that could take a bit of time, really. Then you can talk about, you could do a small, big, biggest, or a small, bigger, biggest, or any kind of song or game that goes along with that. And just keep going with that. There's, once you have that, you can talk about stacking, and you can work on a stacking activity. So the biggest plate would go on the bottom, the biggest of anything, the biggest block, the biggest plate, biggest cardboard box, and then how the medium goes next, and then the smallest goes on top. So that's the beginning of some stacking skills and some tower building skills. Now, circles are fun because they're found everywhere in your environment, and you can always point out to your child, oh, here's a circle, and it's just great, great opportunities throughout the day. Here's another activity that you can do with your child along the same lines with the categorizing by size and by placing and keeping things organized, and it's with blocks. So what you can do is you can have some different size block towers and hand them to your child, and then practice with the organization with them. Well, let's put which one is the biggest or the tallest? Let's put that one over here on the left. Which one is the smallest? Well, let's put that on the opposite side. And then if your child is ready to do the middle, which one's in the middle, then you can put that one in the middle. And that should be on their tray, and it's organized and ready for them. And then you can present to them the container, which is the same that we did with the circles and the plates. And which container would these fit into? So you can put your containers into don't try to mix it up and confuse your child. Go ahead and do it in the order they're expecting, to be fair. Now these are just paper towel rolls that I cut down into different sizes. And then because we're learning about a block which has 4 corners, I went ahead and just bent them so that they would be the same, and make sense from that kind of standpoint. So go ahead and put the tallest on the left, and the middle one in the middle, and the smallest one on the right. And then have your child, okay, because your child already has it organized, so now there's not going to be a lot of frustration. Let's go ahead and see where this fits. And let them experiment with, like, oh, does it go in here? Well, then maybe that goes in here. Maybe it goes in here. Where does it fit best? Oh, I think it fits best in here. There's 3 choices. And do the same with the other 2 blocks. So the medium one's going to fit in the medium container, and the smallest is going to fit into the smaller container. And all of those things are really important. I found some other things while I was scouring, just trying to find things on hand that would work for this activity. And I have this wonderful thing of soap, and it's square or rectangular, and it happens to have a container and a perfect shaped, object that they can, they can see that fits right in their container. So that's another opportunity throughout the day for some reinforcement of some incidental learning. Another thing you can do along the same lines with more natural objects is if you have maybe some flowers that are cut to different lengths, you can say, oh, which one has the longest stem, and where would that fit? And it could go in there, and the smallest one would go in there, and they could just experiment with comparisons of, here's some more. They could kind of have fun experimenting with comparing lengths and comparing sizes of similar objects. And like if you had little vases, you could do it that way too. If you have a child that's a little bit older and maybe a little more sophisticated, and you wanted to more advanced hand skills already, you could work on some button sorting activities. I have some assorted buttons here. I also put some things that didn't belong. So I put some metal rings in here, and you could work on same and different. You could work on things like, oh, this button, some buttons have a little loop on the back, and some just have holes, and they could discover and organize things that way. You could use that same principle of, okay, let's put all the buttons that have the holes on the right, and let's put all the buttons that have the loops on the left. That kind of idea. So I hope that this gives you some ideas for things to do with your child to help their hand skills and their learning at home, and with different things that you can find around. And I hope that you join me next time. Take care.
I see that you're a happy learner, 'cause I'm a happy learner.